welcome back to the Student Pages podcast. It's me, Grace Sanders, once again, your host. I'm joined by Britain's Got Talent winner, Sydnie Christmas today. What a joy. Hello, Sydnie. How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, your name, you sound like you're meant to be famous.
It's so funny. People always said when I was younger, you've got a name for show business. And I was like, funny enough, that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do. And it's, I don't know, it makes people happy. It makes people laugh. That's the main thing. And I love making people laugh. So good. I'm glad it has some effect.
Now, brilliant. That's good to know that you were born for entertainment. You've wanted this ever since you were a kid. I know that everybody says they want to be famous when they were little, but
Literally just wanted to sing. That was literally it. Never fame or anything like that. I just wanted to sing somewhere. That's all I ever wanted, really. That's all I remember wanting. Just in front of people of some type.
Just an audience. That's what.
Just
an audience.
any sort of audience, whether it be in a pub or a stage, it didn't matter really.
So have you been singing your entire life? I know you've had a career before Britain's Got Talent, which we'll get onto a little bit later.
I've always sang, always screamed the house down ever since I was young. Just never, all I've ever done is sang. And then obviously when you get older, you come to an age and then you're like, no, I actually want to sing. I actually want to sing. So when I was about 10 or 11, there was a local stage theatre school up the road that I went to. I've done that. And then you go to secondary school. And then once secondary school was done, I was like, okay, I want to go to college. So I went to college. That was in Downham. And then done that. Graduated when I was 18. And then that was it. I was off into the big, scary, wide world. And I was trying to get into theatre.
Big web world of showbiz. No, before you went on Britain's Got Talent, well, which I believe probably started around this time last year.
I had my first audition in January. January was when mine was mental. To think where my life was at the start of the year to where it will finish is just unbelievable. Never in a million years would I have thought this for myself.
Absolutely. Now, before we go into your Britain's Got Talent journey, as well as what it even felt like when you heard your name on that stage, I want to talk a little bit about your career in musical theatre beforehand, because like you said, ever since you were little, you wanted a stage, you wanted an audience, you wanted to sing. You did actually achieve that.
Yeah, so what I wanted was to be on the West End, which I never have. And to get into the West End is bloody hard. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. But I did do a couple of jobs. My first job, I was a singer on a cruise ship. I was 19. Done that for 7 months. That was my first cruise ship contract. And then I came home and then I auditioned for a year. So that was then a year of nothing. And then when I was 20, I booked Lazarus, which was an off West End production, David Bowie musical, and that was a 5-month contract. And then I booked another cruise ship, come back. And then quite quickly, I was lucky enough to book Starlight Express, which was where I was on and off for 4 years. So in 10 years, I've had 4 jobs.
You seem really blasé about this success, though, because even off West End is incredibly hard to get into.
Like me, compared to all of my friends, I had the worst luck.
Even with auditions, I think there's different between going for a office job interview and then going for an audition, because it's that difference of rejection and the way that you speak about it, like so maturely and so calmly. I think if you brought me back to that place in my life, I'd burst into tears.
Yeah, it's been a lot. I've never been so calm. It's been a roller coaster, to say the least. 1 minute I'm screaming, crying, going, why is no one letting me in? Like, you know, like I've wanted this, I've never wanted anything else. And it's always, your fate is in somebody else's hands. It's in the casting director's hands, isn't it? And I was just never right, I suppose. It just wasn't meant for me. I feel like my mum says, what is meant for you will be for you, or what is meant for you won't pass you by. And I tried to grab onto that and hold on to that saying for dear life. And you know, most of the time I didn't believe it.
But now that roller coaster is on the up and up, and we're still going up, and we continue to go up.
Yeah.
So on that topic, can we speak a little bit about your Britain's Got Talent journey? We just mentioned that you started the non-TV auditions around about this time last year, TV auditions in January, and ever since then, your 2024 has been a bit of a wild ride.
So on and off for about 4 years, I've been going for Britain's Got Talent. So sending videos, you get through a process, you send more videos, and then I pulled out of a process because I get frightened. It's incredibly scary, and you have to, I suppose you have to be brave. I think it definitely took for me to say to myself, I'm going to stop the industry anyway. I was probably still going to sing, but probably just try and gig when I can. But I was going to stop going for musical theatre just because it was looking to get into West End, to get into a West End show, it was looking impossible for me. It really was. I felt that towards the end. I was deflated. I was like, this is it. I'm getting older. I want a family at some point. And I was like, I've got no money. Like, no sustainable life. I'm working in a gym, 0-hour contract. How am I ever going to set myself up to buy a house, have children? These things cost money, don't they? There's a point in your life. I've spent my entire life selfish, just being like, my career, never thought of anything else. But then I never thought I'd get to an age where I want children, where I'm like, okay, can't be selfish no more. You know, when you have children, you've got to be able to give them a life. So that was the point where I was like, okay, let's go for Britain's Got Talent. When I found out, when I got the email saying I was going in front of the judges, I was like, what a nice way to sort of finish it all, I suppose.
See,
That's what I thought.
that's you speak about that, like, so that's so melancholy. Like, you're going, oh, I was going to get on TV, but you did do it. You have to keep reminding yourself of that. You did do it. It's not like you ended it there. You did do it, and now you're here.
I'm thinking about that time in my life. That's why. You wait, my whole body will change in a minute when we talk about the BGT times.
So you got in front of those judges, and immediately, as soon as you got in front of those judges, you got the golden buzzer, which sent you straight through, past all of the intermediate rounds, straight through to the semi-finals. So there was absolutely no water off a duck's back from that one at all.
Unbelievable. Yeah, straight through to the semis, which was great. There's no word to describe how amazing that was. And then, yeah, it was waiting until April, until everything got aired. And then the work was on, figuring out what the semi-final was going to be for me. What I was going to
mindset change in between that first audition and having to wait all of that time before we got to the semis and then the finals.
It was a weird shift when it got aired. But so when the audition happened, I was like, what just happened? What just happened? And then straight back to work the next day, and then straight back to work for the next 2 months, and just being like, this has happened to me, not knowing what was going to happen in the semi-finals, thinking about what I wanted to do, but not knowing when I'd start rehearsing that or approaching that idea. It was very bizarre knowing that this thing happened and something's coming, but I don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
That was a weird kind of headspace to be in. But anyway, being in musical theatre as well, you go to an audition and sometimes you don't hear for, I don't know, 3 weeks, sometimes even longer. It just depends what it is. So I'm sort of used to just going, okay, that happened, carry on, sort of thing. So I just tapped into that and just carried on and just enjoyed being at the gym and being with friends and stuff.
Oh yeah, and did it make a difference that you couldn't tell anybody that happened? So obviously you said you can kind of zone into it, but I
told all my friends, and that was all all my friends knew, all my family knew. That was all that needed to know.
I would just be telling people that I had classes with at the gym.
No, I told my friends at work as well, because I was with them every day. I see my friends at work more than my closer friends, because I lived in London at the time. So I suppose everyone that was around me knew. Everyone that I was close to knew for sure. I had my, oh my God, this has happened to me. So it was okay.
And how did it feel once you actually got to that final? You bypassed the semis, you were in the final, and then you had that intense period, and then your name got called. Did it feel real?
Oh, well, I won. I thought we was at the semi-final. That was ridiculous. When I won, that was unbelievable. I felt not well at that point. Wait, because they count down from 11. That was awful.
Why do they count down? That's horrible. I know they have the big bit of silence to build tension, which I also think is horrible. Just say it. But the countdown, why have they limited that?
I don't know. I definitely think they should be like, right, so and so, step forward. Maybe you as you group of people are not part of the, I don't know, the last 3. I don't know. But in 11th place, I was like this. That's awful. That is awful. By the time it got down to even 5, 4, 3, it was awful. I thought I was going to throw up. Anxiety was high. The fact that everyone's watching you and you've got that camera on, and I'm just thinking there is so many people watching this. But when they said my name, it was amazing. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. It meant so much to me because I had so many people in that audience supporting me, my entire family that has supported me for all these years, and they are really the reason that I kept going, for sure. I wanted to give up so many times, being deflated, obviously, and they've gone, no, they wanted my dream as much as I did for me. And I had about 50 people there that surprised me that morning, that got up and was able to get, queue up and get tickets. And when I turned up, I didn't know they was all there. So it was so emotional. It weren't just my win for me, because they have dealt with me over the years, and I've been a mess. Like, I've been emotionally a mess, as in wanting and not being able to get. So this was just the best thing ever. Just seeing them all there together. I've never had them all in the same room like that, cheering for me like that. That was the best thing ever.
And it makes all that difference having that support network as well.
Every single one of their hearts was in that as much as mine was. There's not, obviously my mum and my dad. My mum was there on the side of the stage with me before I came on, which I thought was a bad move when they brought her on side of stage, because I was a little bit of a mess before singing for my final. My vocal coach took me on stage again, like the semi-final, because I just can't hold nerves. But they brought my mum on, and I was like, no, that's the worst person to bring here, because I'm probably going to cry. Bring her here.
Ever since that final, your life has changed completely. You've been off on holiday with Alan Carr. You've been on all of these talk shows and these interviews, and everybody wants to speak to you. So how has it been ever since that moment?
Well, that is wrong. I was on holiday with my family, right?
And they'd have rocked up.
I see that Amanda was also in Greece, and I was in Greece with my family. So I sent her a voice note, and I was like, Amanda, you're in Greece. We're in Greece. And then she was like, Sydnie, darling, let's go for lunch. And I was like, yeah. So I was gonna hire a car to go. She was only an hour away, so I was gonna hire a car and just go to her and have lunch somewhere. But she said, actually, we've got a day. We've hired a boat for the day. Me and my family. Alan's coming tomorrow. Also, we'll just come round to your island, and then we'll have a lunch there. And I was like, get in. I was like, wicked, perfect. So they come on the boat. They had a family day on the boat. We had lunch, got them on the water sports, and then they was off again. But it was a lovely time. But it's funny, people see it on social media and they're like, you went on holiday with them. I was just lucky. The lunch was amazing. I was lucky that they were there, and it was nice that we could meet up. But we was there on our separate family holidays, luckily in the same country.
And it sounds like you've had so much good fortune that you even forgot to pick your winning prize money up from the Britain's Got Talent producers, and they had a bit of a hard time tracking you down, right?
Well, the thing is, I was loving life, working, like starting. I had to pick a manager. There was loads of things to do. Not that I didn't need the money. I just people get things and they run off with things, don't they? And it was only for like 2 weeks that I was just completely off grid, because I have no words. My life is just went, and I was like singing this, that, and the other. Manager, what's happening next? Album, so many exciting things, just sorting out these opportunities. And then I was like, oh, yes, I was it. Yes. I'll do this. And then
yes, that £250,000 that they owe me.
Yeah.
Just put that on the back burner. I'll carry on doing this.
Yes. Well, no, absolutely not. But I was just like, I think guys are forgetting that I got my dream, and money aside, like, that's amazing. But what I wanted was my dream. That was my main focus. So yeah, that's what I was very excited to do. That was where my focus was.
Oh, absolutely. And nobody's going to blame you for that. And now you just teased a little bit more information because we're just ahead of the new release of your album My Way, which is full of classic covers as well. I would like to know a little bit more about what you've got in store for us other than the album release on October the 4th.
Coming on. So I got the tour in February, which I'm really excited to do. Really excited, nervous, all the emotions, but I haven't started with that yet, because I've got a bit of time.
Mhm.
But that's in February. Also got panto. I've never done a panto, so that's going to be a laugh. That's going to be fun, and I'll get to come home for Christmas. The panto is in Dartford, so I get to come home and thank everyone that voted for me and like give something back to my community. So that'll be really nice to come home for Christmas. And obviously the album, that's October, which is sort of an introduction to me, really, I suppose. There's a reason for every song to be on there. I've tried to do something cool. I've tried to get songs maybe people wouldn't know from artists that they wouldn't know that I've fallen in love with over my career. Yeah, it's sort of just, hi, my name is Sydnie. I can do more than park and bark stuff. There's different styles, because BGT, there was a reason I'd done the songs in BGT, but they're not just the style that I do. So yeah, it's just an introduction to me, I think, and I hope people like it. I'm very proud of it. It's a very full circle. Looking at these songs and how they impacted my journey through my life, to have them on one product is really, if no one else listens to it, I will, because I can listen to each song and have a memory. So yeah, I'm really proud and I'm really lucky. I feel very grateful and I'm excited. So yeah, bring it on, I suppose.
Fantastic. So you've got your Introduction to Me, My Way album release on October.
Yeah.
I would love to hear more about your panto stint. I am a huge fan of panto. Who are you playing? What are you doing? Who are you doing it with? When is it on?
So I'm doing Sleeping Beauty. And my role is Fairy Christmas.
Fantastic. So you don't even need a name change or anything. It's already in there.
Yeah. So I think the script's just getting made. There's going to be some BGT stuff in there, which is really cool. Oh, you've got to use the BGT stuff. So I'm really excited to see the script myself. I'd love to say more, but it's in Dartford. It's at the Orchard West. Please do come if you can. If you like pantos, I'm sure it's going to be hilarious. I'm excited. I've never done one, so I am really looking forward to it.
Fantastic. And then you've got a brief stint at home in January, and then you're off on your tour starting in February. Can you let us know where you're going? Is it UK, Europe?
Yeah, it's UK, all around the UK, which is amazing because there's loads of places that I haven't been.
Mini holiday for yourself then. Meet up with Alan Carr again, why not?
I couldn't believe my luck. I was like, what is my life? But you roll with it.
Absolutely. So on this tour, is it going to be a review of your album? Are you going to be teasing some more stuff that you're doing? Have we got any more secret tidbits of production in the future?
I think the tour is going to be an extended version of me. So it's like album, and then it's like, okay, more detailed tour. And it's going to be, there's loads of songs that I could have put on this album, so they're going to go on the tour.
We've got the director's cut of the album.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's great.
The one.
And now, before we go, Sydnie, we've heard all about your journey, which has been fantastic. Thank you for sharing with us, as well as your upcoming ventures. But this is the Student Pages podcast, so I always ask, what advice do you have out there for any young performers, either at school or at university right now?
I would say practice your craft constantly. Even when you finish school or finish college, you have to keep practicing. I'm obsessed with technique, and I have lessons and have had lessons right up to this day and will continue. And it's going to be incredibly difficult and it's never easy. Everyone's journey is different. Some will make their dream before you, but you will get there. And, never compare, keep going on your path, because do it your way,
No plug for the album at all. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you ever so much for coming on the podcast today, Sydnie. It's been brilliant to speak to you. So a massive goodbye from me, as always, your host, Grace Sanders, and a goodbye to Sydnie as well. I will see you guys all next time.
Thank you so much for having me.
And a huge thank you to our sponsors at Smart Buy Glasses. Smart Buy Glasses prides itself on providing unbeatable range, expert advice from its certified opticians, and world-class support from its customer experience team. So put your best face forward as you head back onto campus with eyewear designed for lectures and leisure. Check the link below for exclusive student discounts off frames and lenses.